everyone. This is Movie Reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
I'm an anthropologist and
I'm an independent artist scholar.
That's right. And we also have 3 adult children who are what?
Well, 30.
Who are adult professional and
the oldest
moving
is 30.
Moving on their way in life. We're not going to give their ages out. We're going to give. Okay, there you go. We have 3 adult children. So there you go. This is show number 14. Show number 14, and guess what? This is our final show for the season. For season number 1. Season number 1. Show number 14. What do you think about that, Mrs. B?
Well, we started out with this venture, and we didn't know where it was going to go. But we had an idea. We wanted to have fun. We wanted to have family fun, baby boomer fun.
There you go.
And we enjoyed it for couples fun, family night. And then we ended up with a partnership, and then now we're copyrighted as movie reviews by Dr. B and Mrs. B.
Finishes season number 1. And we also want to give a quick shout out to those who are featuring our videos and our particular shows. We want to give a thank you to Channel 23 in Greenville, Channel 23. We're also on the Roku channel network, and we're on several streaming platforms. So thank you for showcasing our shows over season number 1. And yes, we're already in this planning for season number 2, but this is the final for season number 1. And for this show number 14, we are reviewing not 1, not 2, but 3 classic princess movies. 3 classic princess movies from Disney.
Yes.
Wow. Let me give the titles real fast. The 3 classic movies: Princess and the Frog, 2009; The Little Mermaid, 1989; and Aladdin, 1992, featuring Robin Williams. And again, those are our 3 classic princess,
very much so,
themed movies.
Yes, the Disney Ultimate Princess series. There are many princesses. We're highlighting some of them, and I'll mention some for other princess as well. They're all equal and wonderful and diverse and cultural to us, and Americana. So we want to thank Disney as well as we've looked at these movies over the years as our children grew up.
Yeah, and exactly right, Mrs. B. She's going to extend several other movies that we want to highlight. But for right now, we just, the final month or so, we watched 3 of these movies.
Yes, we did.
And so, again, we want to give a fantastic overview and really a positive feeling about these 3 movies. Let's start off with movie number 1, The Princess and the Frog, featuring Annika Nona Rose, and in the main role as Tiana, 2009, and there you go. and I was again, I'm coming in with looking at these movies, just want to get into the plot of it.
Yes.
But I was so fascinated by Annika Nona Rose and the music that she brought, and her voice she brought to this role, Mrs. B.
Oh yeah, Annika, Rose, Annika Rose. She is wonderful as a artist, a fine artist, theater and the arts, the fine arts, as well as stage. So she already has that talent, and then she brought that to voice with the Disney's Ultimate Princess series, and I was happy to see the various types of casts that Disney has. I'll start off with this because there's an audience, a demographic, for all families, but specifically in edutainment for children. And I wanted to say that, I want to go ahead and read an excerpt real quickly.
Go right ahead.
Of Tiana, and then we'll talk about another excerpt of the story. On the website, when you go to the Disney Princess website, the Ultimate Princess series. When you get there, they have each princess, and you go down and you scroll and you can select from each princess. And it's reading time for children and adults, and fun and family fun in the evening or during lunchtime. And you can read the short stories as they go through each one. And it also teaches younger children to read. So you can do this with all types of stories. But in this particular case, it's the Disney Princess series. So we'll talk about Tiana. So let me get right to the paragraph of the story. And I'll read it to you because this is what it's about.
Go right ahead, Mrs. B.
Learning. Tiana, the Princess and the Frog. From a young age, Tiana knew that a dream is a little bit of magic and a lot of hard work. Well, that's true. She dug deep and found the courage to keep on trying, despite the odds, because Tiana is a visionary who learned the joy of sharing good food with others from her father.
That New Orleans food.
Nola.
I love that part.
Magnifique. Creole. Magnifique.
Yeah, there you go.
She is focused and driven to achieve her goals despite the many obstacles she faces. And her mother was there to support her as well in the movie and the film.
Yeah.
They help her for this dream of the wonderful, wonderful restaurants that she wanted to build. And she was dreaming for all her life, all that type of gumbo and jambalaya and Creole food mixed together. And all the African American stories within the cooking that she did from the traditional Louisiana, and as well as she put in the French cuisine of the French Quarter, and then all those mixtures together of the Spanish and the Creole, and as well as the French and the European and Americana. So all that makes it of the Cajun.
And more about the plot.
And so that's part of the culture. So when she talks about this, she wants to meet this. In her mind, she's thinking about this restaurant. How is she going to get there? And how will she accomplish those goals? And her dad worked so hard in the restaurant business, and he had passed away. And then the mother was helping her along, working hard. And Tiana was working hard in the restaurants day and night. And she had there was another female that she grew up with, another young lady whose father was from a well-to-do background, had a mansion, had a plantation in Louisiana.
A very southern white female. That's where they brought in that culture, and they didn't hide it. They just brought in her culture and how she had to work. Tiana had to really work with her.
Different social status,
different social
job
status,
classifications,
and they made it very straightforward there. Southern white belle and Tiana but they worked with that dynamic throughout the movie, and I was waiting to see how that played out, and it played out very well.
Yeah, it did. And so you'll have to watch the movie. So we'll just talk a short brief
we're just giving
description
you
of it.
a description, but we're going to give the positive words, or we're going to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down.
The prince came in, so she's looking for that prince.
We have 3 movies.
Yes, 3 movies. Oops,
Bless you. So what happened?
She's looking for that prince.
Yes.
And in the end, they talk. The prince goes through. He turns into a frog.
He turns into a frog.
They go to the bayou, and
the ventures through the bayou, and that was fascinating to see all the animal characters come to life, and all the voices and the music, and the songs. That was fantastic. And then to see Tiana as a frog herself. She was a frog. She turned into a frog. Why? Because the bad person there turned them into a frog. The bad guy in the plot.
The wicked voodoo guy.
The voodoo guy came in and turned them into frogs, and then they both were ended up being frogs. And we're going to get that. We need to get to that right now. And so what happened after they came back, and let's get towards the end of the movie, Mrs. B.
Well, towards the end of the movie, they met the lady out in the bayou, and then they were singing, and then they had to go in. The young white female that was her friend as a grown up, and she was kind of like the playmate, or the handsmaid to her in a sense. And Tiana kind of rose up and building her own dreams. The prince found out, he was really made for Tiana, and Tiana was made for him. And he had money, and he was supposed to marry for a dowry or some type of, arrangement. And it ended up that her friend that was her playmate didn't get the prince.
No,
And,
she didn't.
she
it
didn't.
was Tiana got the prince.
Tiana got the prince. And and they found out that love did
There
conquer
you
after
go.
all.
There
and
you
a good
go.
thing that they turned back into humans.
And they turned back to humans and they got married. And
Yes, they
Tiana
did.
got her restaurant, her great, fantastic restaurant at the end, Mrs. B.
Yes, she had her great, fantastic restaurant at the end. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And that was really wonderful. All the good food. They were dancing, the characters, the musical. It was very musical. The music is wonderful. The dancing and the swinging and the New Orleans jazz. And they were just moving and grooving. And we really enjoyed that. And so were the...
So do you give it a thumbs up?
Oh, we give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up
Of course
on
we
that.
do.
Thumbs
know.
up on Princess and the Frog,
Yeah, we do.
featuring Anna Nona Rose. Now let's move on because we got to get all three of these movies reviews in. Let's move on to The Little Mermaid, featuring Ariel and the person who played Ariel. What was Jodie? Was it Jodie Benson?
Yeah.
1989.
Dr. V is handling
Yeah.
those details as well. So we're doing our part.
Yeah. So
what we
1989, The Little Mermaid,
Yes.
featuring Ariel.
Ariel. So let me read a brief description of Ariel.
Go ahead.
Now, The Little Mermaid, Disney. Ariel knows that you have to ask your questions to get some answers. Ariel's unflappable spirit and resilience carry her through her journey of self-discovery, through which she becomes a courageous young woman who discovers her place in the world. Whether on feet or fins, she's a mermaid, she stands up for what she wants and always finds the courage to dive into something new. So that is the description on the Disney's Ultimate Princess website for Ariel. Yeah. And we encourage you to go there once again for reading. And they have short stories that the parents can read with the children or in the classroom. And you can go through that, and that will be enjoyable, along with of course, the academic and curricular lesson plans that you're already teaching. And if you're teaching art education, you can talk about the different types of animation and color. So that is Ariel. And we enjoyed the movie, and we watched it together, me and Dr. B. And we enjoyed her, going down into the water, and her father, wanting her to stay down in the life of the underworld, which is a positive world. It's under the sea.
It's under the sea. Under the sea. They had great music. Under the sea. And so she was in that world, but she became fascinated about this young
Wonderful
man
world.
Above the sea.
Yeah, she loved the guy above the sea.
She fell in love with the guy
go
above. So that was the fantastic plot of it.
Yeah.
And she managed to find her love by the end.
Yeah, and she and the father, he wanted her to be down in the sea with the rest of the family.
With the rest of the mermaids and the entire fantastic family. And by the way, one of the great voices in the movie, in that movie that I was surprised of, the actor Buddy Hackett. A comedian during the 60s and 70s. He was actually one of the characters.
Was he in the Mad Mad World?
Yeah, he was in the Mad Mad World.
Mad Mad World.
Buddy Hackett is just a funny character actor on the classic late night show with Johnny Carson.
That's vintage. Yeah.
So it was nice to hear Buddy Hackett. And also there was Samuel Wright in the movie, a classic African-American actor. He lent his voice to one of the characters. Wow. It was just great to discover that Samuel Wright was in the movie too.
Yes.
So that was 1989.
Let's
leave it right there.
Yeah, let's leave it there. We're
1989. 1989. We got it. 1989 for The Little Mermaid. And then now our final movie, our final princess movie is Aladdin.
Yes, Aladdin.
Featuring Jasmine.
Jasmine.
And the actress who's played her was Linda Larkin. Linda Larkin.
And you can see the whole
featuring, this is 1992, Robin Williams, the classic Mr. Genius,
Mr. Williams,
superstar actor, comedian, Mr. Robin Williams. Bless his soul.
Bless his soul.
And he just, as the genie, and this is the version that I highly recommend.
Yes.
Not the more recent one, but let's go to the real Aladdin with Robin Williams. So give us your take on Jasmine in Aladdin, Mrs. B.
A description.
Go right
Mrs.
ahead.
B will do so. And now let me read Jasmine. The brief description. Jasmine is incredibly independent and strong. She isn't afraid to speak her mind, no matter who she's up against, and won't hesitate to stand up for what's right. She is extremely compassionate and caring towards her kingdom.
There you go. Wow. There you go.
Her family and her friends. She's, very compassionate. She knows that she shouldn't let anyone else decide her future. And in her adventure to self-discovery, breaks out of her comfort zone to find a whole new world just outside the palace walls.
Go ahead. You gotta sing it. A whole new world. There you go. There you go.
Isn't that another song that Disney? We love all the songs.
We love all the songs.
But I'll sing it anyway, whether it's the Jasmine character or other. But I love to sing that. So we say, a whole new world. I can look in your eyes.
Well, there you go. And they had a great soundtrack throughout it. And again, Robin Williams brought a lot of excitement to the role, and how Jasmine was fighting to go outside her kingdom. Her father wanted her to stay in the kingdom, but she ventured out to meet the young man.
Yes, she did.
Who was out there hustling, and she eventually met him. But she was out there fighting with her dad, and got in a little trouble every now and then.
Figures.
Yeah. Go figure.
Go figure. No pun intended.
Yeah. But the plot was just great, and the way the bad guy, was it Jafar? He was trying to manage everything, control everything. But again, love conquers, and and it was just so pleasant to see Jasmine, get the love and how they came together.
Love conquers all. Love conquers negativity. Love conquers hate. Love conquers evil. Love conquers. And that is wonderful and peaceful.
Very much so. And again, I highly, what do we give Aladdin? Is it 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs, 5 thumbs up?
All 3.
All 5. If I have 5 thumbs, I'll give them all 5. Well, I got 2 thumbs.
Yes, we do.
There you go. And again, I was just so impressed by these particular princess movies. But you want to mention some other princess movies, Mrs. B? Go right ahead.
We highlighted the 3 main ones that we talked about. But I encourage you to also look at Pocahontas. Pocahontas is a wonderful movie. You can read the brief description on the Disney's Ultimate Princess website. And that site is princess.disney.com.
Princess.disney.com. Say that again.
The URL I have is princess.disney.com. So you can go to that site, and I can share with you that some of the references that I found. So you can read about Pocahontas. And Pocahontas, because she is a real figure in history, there's reference books to go to. And I wanted to just share that with you as well. In terms of meeting with John Smith, there was a romantic relationship with that, and the tribal and the Native American lands, and England and America and Native America. And so some of the books you can read on Pocahontas is called Pocahontas Lives. It's a really good site. And this is for teachers and educators. And Pocahontas, Lives also is a site that you can go to. It's www.pocahontaslives.com. I believe that site is still up, but you can still search Pocahontas in your school library or in your own web search and read about it. And as well as Pocahontas books. So there's some through Scholastic that you can read about as well. And so read about those books with Pocahontas. And then the other ones that I wanted to mention, that's one of Pocahontas, which we thought was really nice. There's so many princess series to go through, and we can't do them all. But the newer ones, I'll just mention are, the ones that recently came out is Raya. And when you go see Raya, because Raya is about a character and culturally in Southeast Asia. And Raya is a wonderful story. And I love the comedy in it and the princess and both of them having their different types of cultures and living in tribes. So you want to go see Raya and the culture that's with it. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the dragon. The dragon is almost an avatar because she was really funny. and so you want to go see, I would encourage you to watch all of them streaming if you choose to do so at home. And protect yourself when you go out to the theater with COVID. So protect yourself if you go view it anywhere else or other people's homes. So you would go see Raya. So we have this particular one, right? This particular one, which is The Princess and the Frog. And then the other film.
Here it is. We
have Raya. All right. Now, I just also want to mention, so the whole Princess series, go see it. So whether it's I'll just read real quickly, just the names only. Just the names.
Go right
only.
ahead, Mrs. B.
So Tiana, Mona, Ariel, Mulan, Belle, Pocahontas, Snow White, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Miranda, Jasmine, Aurora, Elsa, and Anna. So that's the Princess series,
and those are the leading characters for the movies.
Those are the leading characters for the movie.
Okay.
And I also wanted to mention that there's also we may do that in season 2. There's a Prince series coming up. So you have the Princess series with Disney. And now I want to do the Prince series. So I have notes on that I want to share and talk about and as far as a movie review. So one of the movies that I want to do, we can't do it in this series right now because we wanted to wrap up the movie review.
This is end of season one. This is end of season
But season
number
2, we're going to talk about the princes. And on Disney as well as DreamWorks.
We have a lot of shows to do in season number 2, and we're going to be planning
about the Prince of Egypt.
That's
as
right.
Well as other prince in
that's a lot of
locations and cultures. Culture.
Okay. So, see, Mrs. B is giving information for season number 2.
Yes.
Season number 2 is still in the infancy planning stage.
Yeah, we gotta talk that out.
So we got to really plan that out. But yes, season number 1, let's just finish this with season number 1. And matter of fact, this show has Mrs. B gave you a lot of information. If you want to follow up with that information, send us an email. We will send you the information of the list and the websites. That was a lot of information for each and every one of you. So if you want additional information, Mrs. B will send you those websites. We'll send you the sites of those documents.
I'll send you those documents.
Could you do that for our audience?
I'll send the document. Yes, I will.
Because this is educational information, edutainment. So we want to make sure everyone gets this information.
Yes.
And Mrs. B,
edutainment, learning,
Mrs.
and
B
art
will
education.
share that information with you.
Share it,
so please
Dr. B.
email us from our movie reviews. So there you go. This is show number 14. Show number 14. Movie reviews by Dr. B and Mrs. B.
And Mrs. B.
I'm sorry. Movie reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
That's right. We feature 3 shows, three movies: The Princess and the Frog, The Little Mermaid, and Aladdin. So Mrs. B, with season number 1 completed, what do you have to say to our viewing audience?
Read to your children. Read to each other. Read books that are basic learner reading, whether scholastic, your old school library, or your home library. Read those books and talk about it. Have a discussion and about what you think about it to each other, and have your own thoughts about it. And I would say that parents read to your children, and children read to your parents about what you like. And then family read to each other. And then go up through each grade level, reading to each other. You can start at K through preschool through third grade. And then third grade usually is fourth grade all the way up to fifth grade. And then sixth to eighth grade reading learning levels. And then ninth through 12th grade. And so try all those types of reading levels. By the time you get to 9th, 12th grade, you're off into different programs, accelerated reading, do the Battle of the Books, accelerated reading programs, library programs in the summer. That's what our kids did now that they're, grown. And we did that every summer. And it was a great resource online too.
Very much so.
And they became really good readers and good learners and educators as well. And so continue to read, learn about people, places, locations, geography, culture, and keep on going and educating yourselves. And it can be fun, and it's edutainment.
This is all about edutainment and learning and appreciating other cultures as we share these movie reviews with each and every one of you for season number 1. Going and doing a deeper dive on a lot of these issues that normally you don't get a chance to. So Mrs. B and I did a deeper dive on several different movies, including this one, show number 14. So I really appreciate each and every one of you for looking at our shows. And please give us further feedback. And you can give us suggestions. Here we go. Suggestions for season number 2. Send us suggestions of movies that you may want us to review for season number 2. Yeah. So we're finishing up season number 1. I am Dr. B. She is
Mrs. B.
There you go. And we
see you.
And we will see you and have a pleasant 2021. Get vaccinated. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And be true. We out.